Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Yellow J, what's up? Antoine, what's going on? NC Biggs, you guys in here early, man. What's going on? We're gonna get started in about 3 minutes, okay? Like all the time. 3 minutes for everybody to get a chance to get in here, get those live alerts, et cetera, et cetera. I need to get some music. That's what I need to get. I keep saying that.
Yeah, that probably helps.
Yeah, I got it because Ramil said he makes beats, man, so I can get some stuff from him and not really worry about copyright stuff. All right, let me go and check on the other side, see if anybody's coming in here. Well, this is going to be a good one, you guys. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it because taking it to the next level. Some of you guys will understand it. Some of you guys won't. We're just talking to the people that's going to understand it. Where is that at? Oh, no. Let's see how many people are really in the room because I can't see over there. No,
yeah, they'll start filling in. It takes a little while.
RJ wouldn't miss this one. Thanks for sharing. Of course. Yeah. You the one living the dream right now, Yellow J. About to move to Hawaii. These guys come on in here so we can get started. I promise I'm going to get some music the next time so it won't be so boring as we wait. I just don't be thinking about it at the time. Got about 30 more seconds and we'll get started. What's up, Bryce? Hello? All right, let's just go ahead and get started right now. Okay, for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Appreciate you coming. I'm LJ, your host, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see. Well, the SMD family, SMD channel, we all help you, but since I'm the one up here talking all the time, so whatever. So anyway, I help you financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt and financing everything that goes down in value, believing you're a homeowner with a mortgage for 30 years, blah, 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 right? That's where I lived for the first 40 years of my life till I woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey says, hey, take the math that you learned in grade school and apply it to your finances and you'll win with money. I said, okay, Dave, I'll do it. And then I did. Now I'm free. All right. Today, we got another SMD family member. His name is International Minded. All right. This guy is he's the guy I go to he's the one that makes me pause. You know how I always tell you guys about the pauses when you realize certain things? This is the guy I talk to that makes LJ pause. All right. So you got an International Minded. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Hey, good night, everyone. Just here to discuss 2020 and what it really means and what it looks like going forward. Now, we start talking about the situation with what happens next. But before we can get there, we have to talk about what just happened, 2020. It's been a rough year for a lot of people. It's been heartbreaking for a lot of people. And we just need to make sure that everyone understands what's really going on. So, not to be a conspiracy theorist, and certain things are happenstance and chance, and other things are plans. Mm-hmm. So once you see what's going on and the results of each of these, you
You kind of
part
going
of
in
it
and
to
out
the
a little
plan.
bit. You kind of going in and out a little bit.
All right. So
Oh man, not now, right at this time. You still there, Andre?
yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead. I can hear you now.
All right. So there's a lot going on, and it's been rough for a lot of people. So we just need to clear things up a little bit and put focus and clarity into, first of all, 2020, as in 2020 vision, being about seeing clearly, seeing the new way, the how things are going to be going forward. Now, let's start first with COVID, right? Because this whole year has been about. Hopefully, this doesn't get demonetized over that, but we have to talk about it.
Right.
So the thing is that you have to judge this by the results. In other words, cause and effect, right? There's a cause, effect. Now, when you start thinking of the effects of what's going on, millions unemployed, many people about to lose their homes, many people potentially being evicted. It's serious. It's a serious situation for a lot of families. Now, there's going to be people who suffer, and there will be people who gain from it. Now, if you start thinking about it from that point, who's going to gain? Why is this happening in the way that it's happening? And at the end of the day, it has to do with, like I always say, it's business. You've got a situation where millions unemployed. Already the average family is strapped, living paycheck to paycheck. Then the paycheck stopped coming. Some people are not even legally on the rolls. They're getting paid under the table. What happens to them? They can't collect unemployment. And this is creating a situation where it could potentially be volatile. Now, hopefully, it doesn't go that way or head that way. But you have to take everything into consideration. Now, how do we look at this from a debt-free perspective? So, if you're debt-free, you don't have a car payment. You don't have these things hanging over that in these circumstances. Now let's get back to who benefits. Why is this happening? Well, again, it comes back to debt, but this time we're not talking about the debt of a household. We're talking about the debt of nations. Now they've charged up the credit card. They're overdue on a bunch of bills, and it's about to get real. So I decided to get on because I want people to have a clear understanding of what's going on, and to help them prepare. But what do you got to do to right side of this? The first part of that is understanding it. So, from the point of view of being in the United States, so now we got to go back to 1970, the year before I was born. Nixon took us off the gold standard. Well, he didn't do that just because. He did that because he was forced to. And he was forced to because the French wanted their gold back. And, well, basically Nixon reneged on it. Said, yeah, well, we'd like. And from there on out, we've had, this is where you get your income inequality and so on. But getting on the right side of it means dealing with your debt. Like we always say, debt comes first. In other words, eliminating your debt is operation number one. It's responsibility number one, and it should be your primary focus. The ones that will win are going to be the ones with cash. And even that, there's a concern. There is a potential that cash will go away, right? So that example I gave of this guy that's getting paid under the table, problem solved as far as the government's concerned. Because guess what? There'll be no cash to pay that guy under the table. Okay. In addition to that, you want to work and get your tips and not claim it? Problem solved. Right?
Oh man, even strip clubs.
Problem solved. Right? Damn. Because at the end of the day, the government wants to make sure they how do they say, secure the bag, right?
I didn't see
and
that.
them securing the bag is 100% about taxes, whether it be federal income tax, state tax, and so on. So there's a very good chance that, and of course it's not going to happen one day to the next. It could actually happen one day to the next, but it's not likely. It'd be a transition. They'll give you a few weeks to turn your money in. And then you'll get a card that gets you federal income. You'll get your UBI through there. So it's really serious. And here's the thing. They cannot allow, how do I put this? They can't allow anyone running around on the fringes, anyone slipping through the cracks. So let's take, for example, the wall. 90% of the people think the wall is about people coming in. Wrong. The wall is about preventing people from leaving.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, once people start figuring out what's going on, they're going to say, well, you know what? I don't want to pay 50, 60, 80% tax. Right? I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go to another country. And then, no, that's not going to happen.
What they call it, expats?
Yeah, expats. Now, of course, there are going to be people that get it done early and people that can pay, but the average Joe he doesn't have the wherewithal to do that, right?
Right.
So he's stuck.
Right.
And they're not going to allow their tax base to just pick up and leave. So yeah, it's definitely what you would call flawless victory. And it's serious. Now, what do you do? Well, you have to make again, getting back to the debt, you got to get that under control. You got to fix that. And here let's think about it. Let's go a little bit further. Let's get a little bit more into the weeds. Okay.
Good, because I got some questions too. Only you can answer.
All right, well, yeah, go ahead. Let's. If you have
no, go ahead. Finish, I want you to finish what you're doing. Okay. Finish your flow.
Okay.
You're kind of breaking up. Still there?
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, now I can. I can.
All right. So now they're trying to pass the MORE Act, right? So a lot of people that went to jail on nonviolent crime, drug crime, marijuana, or something else, they're going to say, you know what? Sorry that you've been in jail for 6 or 7 or 10 years. We didn't mean to get you out, right? But now, okay, let them out to do what? What are you going to let this? What is this guy out to do if he has no skills, right? So, you got to look at it from the other point of view. Now, the good thing about it, okay, now we have someone, an additional taxpayer, an additional consumer. But if a little bit further,
oh man, you breaking up. You breaking up.
You're free now. Prisoners don't get pulled. I'm breaking up again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I may have to go to the laptop. But if you're a free man now, now we have this situation where, okay, if you're under a certain age, you're available for the draft. Now that's serious.
You sure are. That's right.
Now no one's going to see that coming. That could be 4 years from now. That could be 7 years from now.
Right.
But you got to see the long-term plan. Nothing is free.
Nothing.
There,
I've
there's a
learned that
cost.
since being debt free. Nothing's free.
Yeah, there's a cost. So yeah, I don't know if you have any questions for me. I'm gonna
Yeah.
kind
No,
of
it's
pass
okay.
back.
And okay, this is what and I'm sure you can translate. Okay. Why is the government buying up real estate in the form of small business loans? They're giving out loans that they know these people can't pay back because there's nobody buying. Why are they doing that?
Okay, so at the end of the day, our system, the entire world system, works on debt.
Yes.
So in order for you to get an expansion in the economy, you have to get more debt. You have to create more debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And without going into lengthy explanation of how a bank actually works and how it
Right.
creates credit and so on,
Mm-hmm.
if you're having a lag in the economy, and unfortunately, I'm going to jump ahead just a second.
Mm-hmm.
There's no good end to it because someone has to pay the bill, right? So okay, now you need to in order to expand your economy, you have to create more debt,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that requires for someone to go to the bank and say, "Look, I want to buy a new Hellcat," right?
Yeah. Okay.
And I got a job and I'm making good money, so hook me up. So he
Mhm.
goes to the bank, and the bank creates out of nothing
Yeah.
that money so he
Mm-hmm.
can go and buy that Hellcat, right?
Yep. Digital numbers on the screen.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, it's a little bit more complicated than that because there's a reserve requirement and there's a capital
Mm-hmm.
requirement. So, if you take, for example, a transaction such as a mortgage, for example, you go there and you want to get a mortgage on a house. What happens net is that the bank risks its capital and you risk the collateral, which is the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and it's securitized by your a promissory note, your promise to pay, right? Because
Yep.
the collateral itself, of course, is a loan to value, which is always the loan is always less than the perceived value at
Mm-hmm.
that particular moment. We went
Mm-hmm.
through that on the last time about it's the
Mm-hmm.
value at that moment in time. You could walk out, sign the paper, and walk out, and your house just lost $10,000 in value,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so so now the reason you have a promissory note in the first place is it's required in order for there to be a payment of interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then you could just make the loan on the value of the home alone. Why do we need a promissory note? Well, no, someone's got to pay interest, right? There has
Yep.
to be a flow of interest, a flow of principal payments and interest. So, and it's the same now for the businesses. And yes, this is like mafia going on when it comes to the
Mm.
businesses.
Because it seems obvious
This,
to me. It really seems obvious to me.
no, that's for sure. It's a takeover.
I just wonder
And,
why what's the purpose of buying up all the real estate? I don't get it.
all right,
I mean, because they
let's
knew
just
whatever businesses that if they're asking for the loans, they've been in trouble before 2020 even got here.
That's
And
correct.
the bank knew that already.
That's correct. Let's talk about the bank. The actuaries of the bank know when you sign the probability of you completing your payments or the probability of
Right.
success.
Right.
So, for example, let's take it to the business setting now, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a business, you're in now. Let's just show just how disgusting this is. You've been working for 25 years in your business, small business. You've got a dozen employees. Worked hard. You're putting in the 60 and 80 hours a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that business sits on a piece of property. which there's a 40% chance that you, as a business owner, own that property. Follow me now.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a mortgage. Now, you also have a home you live in, which also has a mortgage.
Yeah.
And if you got stupid, maybe you saw a little bit of money coming in, you're like, well, there are 2 rental properties. Let's make it extreme. You have a restaurant.
Just digging themselves.
COVID hits. What happens? Let's go through the cascading nightmare.
Ooh, I don't even want to know that.
Okay, now you have. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Yeah. So now COVID hits. You have to close the doors. And then when you reopen it, you can only be a fraction of your capacity. Then the mafia bosses come along and say, hey, we'll offer you a loan to keep things open. But guess what? You're not going to be able to stay open.
Nope.
It's a matter of time. And then you lose your restaurant. But you don't just lose the restaurant. You lose the commercial property under the restaurant that you own. And you lose your house.
Because you put your house up for the business.
That's right. And you lose your rental properties. The level of upside down you're at, that's it.
You're out the game.
What if you're 50 years old?
Oh, God.
What if you're 60 years old? Oh, and it doesn't stop there. You have a disease that just happens to kill the people that need to be killed, which are the elderly. Baby boomers have about 69% of the wealth in the nation. Basically people that are of the age where they're collecting Social Security, let's say. You've got property, you've got, cash value life insurance, you've got
oh man, you're breaking up again.
Can you hear
me? Yeah, now I can.
Now you can. So if you need a transfer of wealth from strong hands to weak hands, from a baby boomer to a millennial, what's the fastest way to achieve that?
Oh no.
A disease that just happens to kill people 60, 70, and 80 years old. This is what you call flawless victory. It's brazen.
But people just call that a conspiracy because you can't prove it, but it doesn't need to be proved.
No, again, this gets to the probabilities. What is the probability that we get COVID February of 2020? Think about what's going on. It could have been 2019, 2018, 2017. Could be any of those other years.
You're saying why this year?
Yes, in terms of the timing. It's a presidential election year.
Yes. Even 20, just even the saying the 2020 vision. I hear you say that a few times. 2020 vision.
Well, yeah. Well, that's just them being cheeky about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
right.
Let me show you something new. Let me open your eyes to who's really running things. So, but for the average guy, how do you avoid the calamity of it? Well, if you have no debt, you have 90% of your problem solved.
You sure do. You're right.
90.
None of this will be a surprise. That's why
no, it's obvious. And the ones that are prepared, they're actually waiting for these type of opportunities. So it's rough, but I'll just cut it off there, and you can look in the chat, see if anyone's got any questions, or if you have any questions for me.
No, I mean, I got some more for you. And then we'll open up to them. It's like I wonder, like, okay, there's an imminent housing market crash about to happen. It
Right.
has to. Okay. There's,
Correct.
I don't see anything being able to stop that unless $1 trillion fall from the sky. That's the
Correct.
only way it's going to stop that big steamboat.
No,
It
but wait.
go ahead.
Why would you stop it? You follow what I'm saying? Why stop it?
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, because you're thinking from this other side of the ledger.
I am. You're right. Maybe that's what's supposed to. That's what's supposed to happen.
Correct. You're following now. It'll start first with the market, though. You got to have all these millennials buying Tesla and God knows what else.
Hmm.
Businesses that have negative earnings with call options.
Mm.
So that's just a recipe for absolute disaster.
Okay, it's supposed to happen. It
Right.
happens. Now what?
Okay, so once you lose your house, who becomes the owner of the house?
The bank?
Well, they always owned it, right?
Yeah, they always owned it. Yeah, that's right. They always owned it. They just kicked you out. You there? Did I lose you?
I'm still
I
here.
think I. Oh, okay. So
Yeah. So there's a
now the
limit,
house
and
is
that
just sitting
limit,
there empty.
correct.
Thousands. Oh, hold up. You're coming in and out. You're coming in and out. You're coming in and out.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on here.
There you go now. I can hear you now.
You can hear me now.
Hmm.
So you have to think of this from as a generational wealth transfer, right? So they
That's
got to
what I see.
take the money out of the hands of the boomers and transfer it to the millennials. Now, a millennial cannot afford $1 million home or a $500,000 home on average,
Hmm.
but they could afford a home that's down by 40%, 60%, 70%. If you take a home that's 500,000 and bring it down to 150, 175, now it's within the
Mm.
realms of possible. But how do you
Yes.
do that?
Oh, crash.
You have to. It's not optional. It's a
You have to
requirement.
crash it.
How
Mm.
much longer are these baby boomers going to last? You need a brand new set of 30-year mortgages.
Mm. That's what's going to happen. God damn it.
Now, a boomer has paid their house off, right? They own
Okay.
it. They're collecting Social Security. So that means there's no mortgage.
Right.
Follow me now. So if you're 65, 70, 75 years old,
Mm.
there's above average chance that you no longer have a mortgage on your house.
Hmm.
Well, they can't allow that.
Right. Because they make no money if you do that. They're no longer
Yep.
involved.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Well,
So,
okay. Let's take it at one more level. Okay.
uh-huh.
And I know that money doesn't even exist for slaves in any form because they're
Correct.
living in the negative.
Correct.
They just believe what they're saying.
Correct. And
With
it's
that
worse
in
than
mind,
that.
I'm sorry. Can I say it again? Uh,
Because
you're
as
breaking up. You're
stock,
breaking up. You broke up. You broke up.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can.
I think I have to go onto my I'm gonna have to go onto my
It likes to cut you out at the best parts too. I don't know why it's. It's like
so
all you gotta do is.
yeah, so now if you're talking about the average person that has, for example, let's say stock, for example, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now they think that they have some value,
Right.
right?
Right.
But what they don't understand is that stock is ephemeral. I don't want to say imaginary, but
Right.
it's kind of imaginary, right?
It is imaginary. I'll say it for you. It is.
So if your stock is currently $100 and you wake up tomorrow and it's $20, well, what happened to $80 of value? Disappeared
What
overnight.
happened? It just vanished
Vanished. So it was never there to begin
in the
with.
first. Mm.
You follow what I'm saying?
I do, because so that goes for the same way when this happened, the market, the stock market crashed or whatever they made up, right? And they said, "Oh, your 401ks all lost value." I thought to myself, that doesn't make sense. If that's my money, it's my money. But if it can
Right.
disappear, it was never there.
Correct.
Mm.
That's something that's really serious because a lot of people are counting on that. I can't tell you the amount of people that have 401ks and they're going to wake up one day and that's going to happen to them.
But in reality, they never had no money to give to their 401ks in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm saying, even let's say, for example, someone who has no debt and they have $1 million of, I don't know, Microsoft stock, for example.
Okay, gotcha. I'm with you now. Go ahead. I'm curious about this one. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The only thing that you really have is an income stream if it's paying dividends. So other than that, this gets back to my example with the real estate. It's the same example like that brother earlier on that other live.
Mm-hmm.
The value is there at the moment of the transaction, not before and not after.
At that moment.
At that moment, that stock, that house, that car, whatever, had that value at the moment of that transaction. And it won't have a value again until the next transaction. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah, you're laughing. You're following me now.
Yes, I am. I'm following you. That shit is so. You know what's so funny when I hear you talk like that? Let me be real with you, man, because you've been in this area for way longer than me. Okay, I feel almost embarrassed because I was walking around talking like that out in the open, and people like you were walking around hearing me. Right?
Yeah.
I wasn't even understanding. I wasn't making any mathematical financial sense whatsoever. And here I am, college educated, make 6 figures, top engineer, and none of that shit meant nothing.
No, as a matter of fact, the more educated you are, the more blind you are. The
Exactly.
further away you are from reality.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And that's paying student loans on top of that, and for the privilege.
Yes, that's why. That's why the educated are the most profitable.
Oh,
you following me now? Because now you got an education, so you got student loans, you got money coming in, so now you got to go buy a house and show everybody you got to put a Range Rover in front of that house.
I'm about to go burn that piece of paper right now. Thanks, Andre. Yeah. I'm about to go burn that diploma right now.
then you got to go buy stocks and do your 401k so you can tell everyone else that you got a 401k, and you don't even realize what you're saying, and you're saying it out loud.
Like I always say, man, you're saying it out loud. I didn't even know I was saying it out loud too. Damn.
Yep.
I would have been, honestly, man, if I had not become debt free, Andre, man, I'd have been in some serious trouble in 2020. There was no way I'd be getting a good night's sleep right now. No way.
No. And 2020 looked a lot worse than 2020.
Huh?
2020 was a cakewalk.
What you mean?
2020 was a cakewalk. It's what compared to what's coming?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Damn. What? Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I'm not thinking like that. Damn. It ain't even hit yet, really.
Nope. Not even close.
Vaccine coming out. That's a whole different
Well,
story right
that
there, man.
yep, yep. And the vaccine, a lot of that, the oh man, it's just
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I know because it's the problem with this is that basically you have sociopaths running everything, right?
Hmm.
This is the real problem. You have people that don't care about other people, and they're in positions of power. They're the ones running, the financial system, the government, and these people have no empathy whatsoever.
But you know what's so crazy though? This is what's crazy though. It they're not hiding anything though. This is what gets me. Yeah, they're in power. They make it seem like it's a secret to become wealthy and all this stuff, but they're not hiding anything. All I had to do was trust in mathematics, and I could see everything.
That's correct.
They just been trusting math through the generations in their family. That's why they have generational money because they pass this information through their family. But they just trust math, and I didn't. That's it. That's the only difference.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, and I would add a little bit to that is that you also have to have a clarity of vision. You have to be able to see through the
Right.
cloud, the fog of you really have to have a different kind of mindset. You have to have a really good BS filter, basically.
But if you're raised, I mean, if this information is passed down to you from parents to children, that would be
Hmm.
your only view, wouldn't it?
Correct.
That would just be your natural view.
That's right. You wouldn't know anything else.
Damn, wouldn't even know anything else. You're right.
Now imagine how it looks to someone who's been taught properly. Imagine how the average person looks,
Right.
and this you're talking about 90% of the population.
Right. And you can't say
So
nothing. And you can't say nothing. But you'd have such the advantage in business. You would kill it.
yeah,
That's like an advantage to have in business that they wouldn't believe you even if you told them.
yeah, that's correct. I mean, I would say that it's advantage doesn't cover it doesn't properly explain it. It's like um
Is that word too
well,
small? You're saying that it's too
yeah,
small to
yeah,
oh,
it's
okay.
way too small. It's not even close to what
What's
it is.
what's a better word? What's can you think of, you got some good
I
ones,
don't
man.
know. I'm trying to, I feel like I should pull out a thesaurus or something because I'm not at a loss for a proper word for it. Magical? I don't know. I don't know.
Spaceship?
Godlike?
Spaceship with no sound?
No. It's really
It feels like a superpower. Okay, I'm gonna just be straight. It feels
no.
like a
Yeah, it's like a
superpower, man.
superpower. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely like a super. Because let's say, for example, you walk into a deal, right?
Mhm.
And the average person that's going in there, maybe they've talked to someone and they've secured financing, and you know that you could buy the property cash.
Mm.
What is the difference between someone walking in with financing, maybe three levels of financing because they have to
Right,
go through,
right.
versus a guy that could buy it cash with his eyes
Okay.
closed? What is it? How do you explain that difference? How do you not call that a superpower? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? There's no and I'm not saying a huge deal, but let's say a small deal. Let's say, for example, uh
Oh, you there? Did I lose you? Andre?
yeah, I'm
Oh,
here. Do you hear me?
okay, there you go. You back. You back. Oh, you were about to get
Yeah,
into it.
so
You says.
yeah, so one guy, is coming with bank financing and maybe, hard money loan. I'm talking about a real estate deal now. And
Mm,
the other guy could just buy it cash.
right.
What is the difference in that transaction? There is absolutely no comparison between those two people. You can't
None.
compare. There's no way. It's
Not even
impossible.
close.
Not
Not
even
even close.
close. How about this? How about the guy owns his own financing? In other words, he owns a company. Maybe it's second or third generation of
Mm,
providing capital.
God damn. You're right.
Exactly.
You know,
So now
sometimes.
he's gonna
Oh
he's
no, go
gonna
ahead.
provide. Yeah, he's gonna get the deal. He can offer whatever he wants,
Mm-hmm.
right? He can go up in price, down in price, sideways in price. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what?
And you know what's so crazy, Andre? One look at the credit report, the personal credit report, he'll know exactly how he can abuse them financially, of course.
I don't know, babe. Okay. Yeah. So,
And one look at their personal credit report, he'll know immediately how he can financially abuse them.
well, here's the thing. The average, someone like this. Let's say, for example, someone who's got his family's got money, and it's probably actually a family office doing the background deals for it. They're probably not actually showing up at the deal. But
Right.
Imagine now you can offer 10%, 20%, 30% more, which is obscene number, right?
Mhm.
On a deal,
Yep.
because you're financing it yourself. So all of the money you pay in interest is coming back to the family anyway.
Because you're financing yourself. And you know what else? They finance the taxes too.
Yeah.
God.
Tax deduct.
Damn.
It really gets disgusting. I mean,
You know what? This is what I think back. I think about back in myself when I was in the debt matrix. And I know it probably would have never happened, but to snap me out of it, I wish somebody would have that knew like you, but of course you would have to know me personally or whatever, and just like curse at me, because curse words seem to be shocker words, right? To wake people up, to show how to, because I noticed that I'm on this other side, right? I don't use curse words as filler words. You know, it's words, I use them as to show, trying to kind of express the seriousness of what I'm trying to say, so they will feel what I'm saying. Like sort of like Samuel L. Jackson movies, right? That
right,
if he didn't cuss, you wouldn't feel what he says in the parts of his movies, right?
right.
And I wish
Yeah,
people would have.
that's
I wish
that's
somebody would
basically
have came up to
adding
me
an
and just said that.
exclamation point. Yeah, you're
Huh?
adding an exclamation point to the sentence.
Yes, yes. I wish somebody would have just said, came up to me when I was in the debt matrix. Hey, Linnell, 0 starts with you, you dumb mother effer. You know what I'm saying? Just something like that, right? Just to say, so I could say, whoa, okay. You just kind of said that to me. Or when I said, you know, because I would always finance cars, right? And I would go, oh, yeah, man. I'll brag to my friends. Yeah, man, I went and tested this brand new Lexus. Somebody would have just came out to me and said, hey, man, you got the cash for that? No? Then what the fuck are you test driving it for? You know, just just like that. That would have been
Yeah.
a wake-up call for me, hopefully.
I could tell you from experience that doesn't work.
That doesn't even work.
No, it doesn't work. I've tried it.
What?
And I'm not talking about one or two people. I'm talking like into the probably thousands now.
And they just thought you were a
Thousands.
prick or something, or a-hole or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. My lady says I'm she gave me an acronym PCA, patronizing, condescending asshole, something like that. And I'm like,
And you're
so I
not.
get this bit. Why? Because I tell the truth, and now like for real.
That's true, man. When you tell the truth, they think, like I was trying to talk to a close friend, man, and he just thought, oh man, you think you're better than me? Why are you talking down to me? I said, I'm not doing any of that, man. What are you talking about? I'm just telling you the truth. Is my math right? And he still couldn't take it.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
But what they don't realize is that it's their feelings about it. They're
Right.
projecting their feelings about what you're saying. It has
You
nothing
kind of
really to
muffled
do
a
with
little bit.
you. Yeah, they're really just
Oh,
projecting their feelings about.
oh, wait a minute. Now I can't even hear you at all.
How about now?
Okay, now we can. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like I was saying. They're really just projecting their feelings about what you're saying. It's not that you're being mean about it, or because
Right.
I'm not a mean person or rough or anything like that. But
That's what I've learned to do. What you're saying, I've
because you
learned to
really,
recognize why they're saying it. I've been learning to do that.
yeah. And you have to understand it's painful. It's a painful process, really.
Mm, yeah, because I
You
know
know,
what I'm
for a lot
asking
of
them to do.
people. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we got some questions. We got
Yeah.
Citizen Blue. He's ready to ask you a question here. You mind if I jump him on there?
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
Hey, go ahead, Citizen. What's going on, man? Welcome.
Hey, what's up, LJ? What's up, International? How y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, I had a little, hey, with LJ, appreciate it, man. I've been watching a lot of stuff all day, man, and I just hopped on to say, man, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing for real, because I was thinking about, I kind of have like entrepreneur. I'm in the software game. I've been like starting businesses and stuff, and like as I think about it, bro, a lot of times the reason why I was failing is because I was in debt. Like I can't think of a time since I left college where I wasn't in debt. And it
Hmm.
makes you know what I mean? That makes perfect sense. I just wanted to share that, you know what I mean? You're really doing good work, man. I appreciate it, man.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. You got
Hey,
anything to say
international.
on that, Andre? Or were you finished, Citizen? Were you finished? Was that your question?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, pretty much like uh, the importance of not being in debt when you're starting a business, right? Is that what you're? Is that what I was saying?
Yeah, I was going to let
Yeah.
Andre.
Yeah. When it comes to this is something that I see because I deal with this frequently in my business. Um, I would say maybe.
Hello?
You still there, Andre?
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't know. Yeah, he stopped talking. I didn't know if it was just me.
No, he stopped. I'm not sure if he knows he stopped though. I think he's in that.
People starting a business already or get 50 or
We
50 or
totally
hundred
lost
thousand
you,
dollars
Andre.
worth of credit cards to
Hey, man,
start a
we
Yeah.
totally
business.
lost you.
Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
could you yeah,
Repeat what you said.
All right, so this is an issue that I see frequently. The majority of people trying to start a business don't have sufficient capital. I'd say maybe 3%
no,
do.
yeah, I was using credit cards and all type of stupid stuff.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Yeah, I see that. Oh, I see
It's
that now.
impossible. Yeah. So I mean, and now this is the thing that's it's being sold. So okay, so why is that then? Why is it that they're saying, okay, let me help you get your credit score up and get your capacity up, so you can get, and worse than that is get business credit, right? Quote unquote
Yep.
business credit, and you don't even have a single customer, not a
Yeah.
consistent regular customer,
No, I've never had.
So
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
it's just it's I mean, for me it's a scam. It's the same scam that the bank does, right? They know that 80% of the people who get a mortgage will either refinance or sell and buy another house within 7 years. So they get a reset as an industry. They get a reset
Hmm.
every 7 years.
Oh, yeah,
If that's
exactly.
not a scam, I don't know what is. Because in that 7 year period, your house should be paid.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
How old are you, Citizen Lou?
You
How old
follow
are
what I'm
you?
saying?
Yeah, I'm 27, LJ.
Oh yeah. You young. You young.
Yeah, and it's funny, man. I had actually just filed Chapter 7 too, uh, and it was back in March, and it was so crazy, man. Because all, like you said, all the slaves were telling me not to, but it was
Hmm.
like the best thing I could have done.
Exactly. It was the best thing you could have. Now you're on zero. Now you just got to recognize that you're at zero.
No,
Because
I still
zero.
got I still got some
Oh
student
yeah.
loans.
Oh yeah. You got to pay them off. Don't try to start no business without them student loans gone.
Okay,
Don't
okay.
even try it. Don't even try it because there's. Look at it this way. There's $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. That's millions of people that think they can try to invest at the same time while having student loan debt. That's impossible.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about going back to school. Well, actually, I am going back to school.
How you gonna pay for it?
I'm a veteran, so
So
they
they don't
pay for
pay
me to
for
go to
it for
school.
you? They
Uh-huh.
pay for it?
Yeah, for the GI Bill.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I just didn't want you to hear you say more student loans.
Oh no, no, not at all.
How did
So I
you get
just
the student loan before you got into the service?
yeah, I did. I went to college for 2 years, and then I went to the
Oh,
Navy, and then I got out, and now yeah.
gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, let me ask you something. So, what made you start listening to this channel?
Man, well, so I was in debt heavy, and
Hmm.
then I told you I had filed Chapter 7, and
Hmm.
I've been making some more money because I'm a programmer,
Hmm.
and so I've been making some money doing that, but I just wasn't really like saving it, you know what I mean? And like it's because I wasn't like I would every time I would get some money, I would just go try to do some like business or something. But what I should have been doing was paying my student loans off, and I see that
Hmm.
now, you know.
What language did you program in?
C sharp.
Oh, okay. No, I
It's
was
kind
in
of
that.
like job.
I wasn't a programmer, but I was in the IT field for 20 years
I know.
before I quit.
Yeah, you doing like network engineering, huh?
Yeah, I was a VMware engineer,
Oh, okay. I had to
virtualization.
use. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I had some. I had to use that to use a Linux thing, so I could go to
Right.
Linux. Yeah, VMware's tight.
Linux. Hmm.
My bad. I don't want to alienate the
So
crowd.
you
Sorry.
came. So as you were you looking to say debt? I mean, how'd you come across this channel? I'm curious.
Oh, we use on Ramil channel.
Oh,
That
okay.
and
All
I was
right.
just thinking about it, and I was like,
Oh,
yeah. Then and a lot of people, man, you like I told you before, man. Like people really don't want to talk about it, but you're right. Like the people get way too upset about this stuff,
hmm.
and all you
Yeah.
know, and in real
What's up,
life, the
NC Biggs?
slaves.
You got something for Citizen Lou?
Oh my bad.
No, I had a question for Andre, but you go ahead. I'll let
Oh, okay.
Citizen finish
All
up.
right.
No, I'm
No,
done,
I didn't
brother.
mean
I'm
to
done.
cut
I'm
you off,
sorry.
Citizen Lou. I thought NC Biggs was coming on to
My
ask you
bad,
something.
man. I didn't mean to babble. Go ahead, NC Biggs, bro.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
Finish your statement.
no rush.
Oh no, okay. Well, so yeah, just the programming thing. But yeah, I want to go back. So I was almost done too with school, so I was just like, I might as well just knock it out. And they pay for it. But here, I kind of want to get into the nitty gritty of it. So I'm gonna get some. Should I use tax free money to? I should definitely use that for like scholarship money to pay my student loans off, or should I use my tax money? What do you think? Does it matter?
It does. If they're going to pay for it, they're going to pay for it, right? But what do you? Okay, let me ask you this: what are you going to school for? What's the purpose of you going to school?
Computer science, because
I mean, what is that going to get you when you get it? Is that going to
uh,
do something for you?
yeah, because if you want to get a work visa, you got to have a college degree. Because I'm trying to go work in Europe
Do you
as a
love doing
program.
computers? I'm curious. Do you love it? Do you want to do that to your dad?
No, not really. No, I really don't.
The reason why I asked you that because it sounds like you're just going to school just to get more money, and I don't want you to do the same thing I did, following that trap. Don't do that. Pay off,
So,
take your money, make the most money as you got right now, and just pay off your student loans. And I promise you, when those student loans are gone, because you already filed Chapter 7, so you're already debt free. Get rid of the student loans, and then I promise you'll know exactly what you want to do. And I guarantee you, it's going to be something that you love to do, not that something you feel like you have to do to earn more money.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Put it this way, my last job, and I'm saying this, but don't take it as me saying I'm saying this number because it's a lot of money, because when you get out of debt, it's not. Okay. My last job,
Hmm.
I was making 160,000 a year, and I quit once I became debt free.
Wow. So you said, yeah, I bet you that'll definitely happen. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Now, when you hear that number, it sounds like a lot of money, right?
Yep.
When you get out of debt, you will understand that it's not. Because
Man, what do you
it's
mean?
all counts on who you're asking. If you walked up to Jeff Bezos and said, "Hey, Jeff, is $160,000 a lot of money?" He'll just
Oh,
laugh and
no.
say, "No, that's in the ashtray of my car."
That's like, you make that an hour.
Yeah, he got. Hey, go look in the. Hey, man, you want your salary? Yeah, go in my car, look in the ashtray, or look in the glove compartment, and grab your yearly salary.
Mm-hmm.
I made that today.
See? Yeah, you're right. So it
So
doesn't matter. Yeah, you're
it
right.
doesn't matter. Get out of debt, man. Your whole world is going to change. I promise you. You're going to stop thinking the way you're thinking you need school to be successful and all this stupid. You want to. You won't think like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you, man.
being. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
we
hear you
hear you,
now.
brother.
Yeah, I switched over to the laptop. Being in debt and trying to do this stuff is like trying to walk and watch backwards. Think about going through your whole day having to walk backwards. That's basically what to give it an analogy, a visual. So as soon as you get out of debt, you don't have to walk backwards anymore.
Mm-hmm. No, I got you. Yeah.
You won't go back either. The option of going back to, like, put it this way, Citizen Lou. All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get out of debt, you'll realize time is the most valuable thing on earth. Time, because you're going to be dead one day, right?
Right.
Out of 7 days a week, your employer owns 5 and you own 2.
Yeah, I can't get down with that, man. Because I was in the Navy working 80-hour, 100-hour weeks, and I'm really done with that.
You won't be doing none of that. You won't be doing that's for slaves.
That's for exactly. And I was a super slave in the Navy,
Mhm.
man. So you're right. I'm
And
done with that slave
saying
life.
that out loud is important, so you can hear yourself. So you'll know that you're recognizing that you're a slave or a super slave. That's very important.
Oh yeah, I recognized it in the Navy. They used to hate me. I said, yo, this is like slavery. You know, we like carrying chains and stuff like that. They would get mad at me.
Mhm.
But that's slaves. You're right. You know what? You know what? I think that's why I came to your channel. That slaves, how you got to identify the enemy, because like the Agent Smiths, because they
Mhm.
will bring you down.
No, Agent Smith is you. They're not
I'm Agent
anybody.
Smith.
You are Agent Smith. I know it's in the movie. It seemed like Agent Smith was somebody else, but it was you.
Well, I'm Agent Smith.
You are Agent Smith. Agent Smith is part of you.
Yeah, it's called the
Leo, they're really one. Oh,
Yeah,
go
it's
ahead,
called
Andre.
the self-accusing spirit.
See?
It's that part of you that lets you know when you're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
What?
That's why he's up here. There's better words for it. I'm still a baby on this game over here. I know it doesn't sound like it, Citizen Lou, but I am.
Oh man, yo, that's crazy. Okay, so you're actually Agent Smith. Okay, yeah, you're right. Damn, because I guess I knew I was doing it wrong, but I just didn't know how to put a
You know
finger
that
on it.
part where Cypher eats that steak off the fork. He's pretending that's steak.
Yep, he
That's
wants to be real.
that's money for you because you think your money is real, but it's not.
It's not at all.
Like if you take $20 from your pocket and say $20 minus your student loan equals the steak.
Right. Oh man, yeah, I'm not doing it. Yeah, you're right.
I just learned Agent Smith was myself just not too long ago. I was like, well, who's Agent Smith? They said it's you. And I was like, oh, damn, I didn't even see that.
I didn't see that either. I didn't notice that either. So you said it's the spirit of yourself knowing you're doing something wrong. Wow.
Yeah, it's called the self-accusing spirit.
Self-accusing spirit. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, NCB, I know you was waiting, man. I'm sorry. I was just rambling on, man. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, sorry. No, no. I actually, I'm just sitting here listening. Agent Smith is me. I didn't know. I had no clue.
Yeah, that just blew my mind, yo.
Yeah, I'm always thinking that. I always knew I knew I was the. But it does make sense, honestly. I mean, you think about what stands in your way. I mean, if Agent
Mm-hmm.
Smith in the movie is standing in Neo's way, well, who is standing in your way?
You got to face
You
it
know.
head on.
So that makes sense. But no, Andre, I did have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was two questions. One, I want another book. Okay, I mean, don't I'm still waiting for the next book. I want to hear another one, but I'm not gonna get into that on the channel. But I definitely want another book. Another thing though, seriously though, is that I was considering. I made a plan for myself. I've made a plan for myself next year. My plan is pretty solid from the way I have it set up so far. The first half of 2021, I'll pay off the rest of my student loans. And then after that, I will save up for my emergency fund. Just put the headphones out. And I'm telling this kind of a detailed thing is because the next thing I want to do is actually go to school. I've told LJ and I've told Cosmic, but I want to go into accounting, and I have a very good reason for it, to understand businesses better from a financial aspect. I don't know if that's how you would go about it, but I'm curious what you think of my plan so far, and did you have any suggestions on moving forward when I'm going towards this career? Because there's so many things you can do with accounting. It's freaking crazy. So I would love to hear your opinion.
Okay.
I will not be going into debt when I do this accounting. Also, I'm paying cash. I just wanted to throw that part out there.
Yeah. Well, I would start first by saying,
Hey, yo, international
really
minded. Is it me or
necessary.
his mic going really crazy? Is it just me?
Yeah. I think there's something up because even now that I'm on my PC, I'm still getting, like, when you guys talk, I'm getting popping and it's off. But we'll make through it. So getting back to what NC Biggs was saying, I would start first.
I
What I like to
understand
say
anything that you just said. I think you're going in and out, but it could have been my headphones. I have bad headphones.
All right. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the best to do is start at the end and work backwards. So you have to start with where do you want to be in 5, 10, 25 years and work backwards from there. Your desire to learn about accounting is particularly if you plan on buying businesses, it's absolutely crucial. It's something you have to learn. Now, I would say that you might not necessarily need to learn that in a college setting. It depends on how you learn. Like for me, college just went way too slow. And I remember when
You're breaking up a little bit now. I heard you say something about colleges are a little too slow, but then after that, it was gone.
Okay. So what?
Gotcha. Now I can hear you.
What you can hear me? Okay. What you're looking at now is, can you? It depends on how you learn. You can learn from books or even better from experience. You wouldn't necessarily have to go to college or
I swear, man. I swear. I don't know what's going on, but I swear every time he gets ready to talk, it seems like it's almost like somebody's doing it on purpose.
Right. Because it's like he sounds fine. He sounds fine until he's about to tell something.
Yeah, it's like, can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear you. And then as soon as he starts talking,
it's like somebody cutting a switch on, like, hey, yo, shut up, Andre, just right before he talk, you know.
I don't know.
I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know what else to do. Really, and sometimes on my side, you guys are popping in and out too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the internet connection. Yeah,
that's really weird. It's really weird.
It's just weird that today.
Only when he talks.
Only when he talks, and only and only when he's about to say something important. It's not when he's about to say something else.
Exactly.
He can, right now, he's laughing. He's having a good time. There's no problem. We're not having no problem.
Andre, talk about your pets. Talk about your pets. See what happens.
Right. I hear you. No, what I want is for you not to get caught in spending money with college or educational school, and waste of money. I find that a lot of times the knowledge that you need, you cannot find in the typical education system. It's just not there. Now you do need to have a foundation.
I hate that I'm having to I'm going to have to encrypt this later.
We can't even hear you, Andre, man. I don't know what it is, man. We can't even hear you.
It's like I'm putting pieces together. I'm hearing it. So like, you were saying something about like, you don't have to go to a vocational school. You can go to a regular school. I'm just literally trying my best to hear everything you're saying because it's so important.
It's really bugging the shit out too.
Yeah, it's because you lagging out, bro. It's like you gotta get closer to the router or something.
No, I don't know.
You think you got to reboot the modem?
There's Cosmic too. Cosmic's on here too.
Yeah, I kind of get what Andre.
Hey, Cosmic Wisdom's up here. Hey,
yeah.
So I have a family member
Can
who
I
has
answer?
$10,000 in IRS debt. So I was kind of telling him maybe he should like take equity out of his house because he has 2 paid off houses, right? So I was telling him he should like take the equity out of that house and just pay the IRS debt off. What do y'all think about that?
Oh, you got the perfect person on here right now. Cosmic can answer that question for you perfectly.
Cool. Cosmic, I can't.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with the IRS debt, it's going to be paid one or the other. IRS, I had the fortunate to never have IRS debt to pay back, but they usually put that person on a payment schedule anyway. Or you can do what they said, to pull out an equity loan and pay the IRS, but then you're still going to have to pay that back too. I don't know, Andre, if you have experience with IRS debts, but I wanted to hop in because NC, I think I know what Andre was trying to tell you. I didn't realize you wanted to take account and learn how business works. And I will tell you, being in business for 20 years, I think account is boring, but I have a finance manager and they deal with the bean counting. If you want to learn how money works, one of the best jobs that I've had was a business consultant, where you come and your whole job, you're like a doctor on a business. You're doing triage. And a part of that triage is understanding the people, the financials, and the tools. So if you want to know how money works, accounting only is going to give you one side of the business. If you want to know how business really works from an experience perspective, consulting will give you that. You'll learn how to look at financials. You'll get the soft skills because you'll be talking to people to understand their problems. You'll be learning their processes, and then you will make your assessment on the plan of action, whether you're helping a company buy another business, fix a broken business, or assess some streamlining. So it really depends on why you want to go to accounting, right?
Right. It's
what is your why?
Well, there's 2 reasons. One, I know it's a very stable, it's a stable career. What it is, and so I also want to. I kind of wanted to dig into a business, like just like see the numbers of a few businesses and just kind of like just dig in them and like the audit and master the audit the audit process and stuff like that. I wanted to master that as well. So those were, I mean, though I heard it's very tedious and
I
it
mean,
can
have
be
you
kind of
been through an audit? It's very boring. Okay. Uh, I mean, if that's what you want to do it. But you know, you can kill that bird with one stone. So I kind of told you to talk to some accountants. You may
I
want to
did.
find out who's some business consultants because business
Okay.
consultants are knee deep in financials. But
Okay.
I have grunt workers, accountants to crunch the numbers. If you're in any business management, you're going to be doing financials anyway. You don't have to be an accountant to get access to the books.
Right.
Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm off the Wi-Fi. I'm now on 4G, so we'll see if it's any better. Yes, that's basically what I was trying to say. It depends on how you learn. Particularly if you're a people person, you're going to learn much better in an actual setting where you're going to acquire that knowledge without having to just sit in front of a professor with books and I agree with Cosmic's assessment there. That's basically what I do in my business. I'm basically a business consultant primarily, so if you can get with someone that you can be elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder with, doing it day to day. That's really a fast track. The reason why I'm saying that, I don't want you to get disillusioned or really even more so waste time and not do the things that you actually need to do to achieve your end goal. That's why I started originally talking about start at the end and work backwards from there. So I want to have, let's say you create a goal that you want to purchase 20 businesses in the next 20 years. Let's throw something out there. All right, well, what is it going to take for you to do that? Well, you got to work backwards from the end of owning 20 businesses 20 years from now and say, okay, I've got to start with understanding how business operates, understanding business management, understanding financial statements, and so on, and pick up each of those skills along the way. But I would just be worried a little bit that you'd get bogged down in stuff that, because I could tell you, they basically hate me because when I get in there, I'm basically, throwing everything they know about business or how things should go. I throw it in the trash and I start from scratch.
Right.
So, but I'm working at a different level. You have to know at least how to read a balance sheet, an income statement. If you don't have that knowledge, it's very difficult to.
I'm learning that. I'm actually learning that right now. Actually, I'm taking there was a guy that does stocks. I'm learning how to read balance sheets through his program. Yeah, so I understand what you mean on balance sheets.
Yeah, and you have to have at least that before you can get to the nuances of a business. So,
Right.
for example, I'd say about 2 years ago, I was approached to assess a commercial real estate project, and they brought me an Excel spreadsheet. I mean, it was ridiculous the amount of cells. I didn't know a spreadsheet could have that many cells. But then I started asking the guy, I'm like, okay, tell me about the tenants. And he's like, well, we've got so many tenants. I'm like, no, tell me about the tenants. Do you know the tenants at all? Do you know anything about them? And so this is where it's a complete, curveball, because nobody ever asked them that. Just tell me about the tenants. Are they professionals? Where do they work? Do they have dogs? And the guy goes to me, he's like, I don't see how any of this is relevant. And and I was like, exactly. That's why I'm here. That's why you called me, because you don't realize that is actually extremely relevant, because the tenants, the renters, those are the ones paying the mortgage on this place. So the fact that you don't know anything about anyone that lives here is, to me, shocking, glaring. And eventually, the owner eventually called me, and we moved on with the consult. But I'm just saying that to say that you're not going to find it all in a balance sheet. You're not going to find it in a spread, in a cell of an Excel spreadsheet. It's going to be boots on the ground, rubbing elbows, and learning ground up how it really works. So that's why I would say just don't focus, like you have to know it, but don't make it like your whole purpose to get an accounting degree.
I was asking, and the reason why I was asking about the degree aspect is because I know people don't. I know people normally respect you more if you have the experience, but if you don't, but how do you gain the experience without the degree? I guess I know my generation and previous generations, usually you can't just walk into the door and say, "Hey, I want to try this." You got to have some kind of paper trail of some kind to prove that you want it. So I guess that's
wait, stop there. Not true.
Well, I'm saying, like, something that shows you want it, or you need to know somebody that's already doing it.
Yeah, that's more what I would say. This idea that you have to have a degree I mean, yes, if you're gonna do open heart surgery, you know what I'm saying, you gotta have something, But
yeah, of course.
But what you're talking about, which I'm being presumptive here. I'm assuming that you want to get this knowledge to eventually own and run your own businesses. In which case, there's a bit of a shortcut there. You follow what I'm saying? Now, if you told me I really love accounting and I want to be an accountant, then our conversation is different. You follow what I'm saying?
Absolutely, because that's not the purpose of it exactly. But I would like to understand the ends of a business and how the books work and stuff. That's what I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, so that's where I would say yes. But this is something where, you would have to get in with someone. You have to use your network and find that person that. And there's always, let me tell you, as a business owner, you're always looking for someone to take the load off. You're always looking for somebody who's hungry, who really wants to learn, who's not just looking to get a paycheck, right? So if you go in there and you say, look, this isn't about the money. I want to learn. I mean, there's no sweeter words to a business owner's ears. It's to hear someone who actually wants to learn and just doesn't want to collect the paycheck and do the minimum. So I would say, use your network, which is kind of hard to do now with COVID, also part of the plan. But yeah, use your network and try to get.
That's funny.
Try to.
Damn, I don't think anybody hear that. How many of you guys heard that? What Andre just said, but you probably didn't catch it. But go ahead.
I guess NC Biggs, Andre, it's funny because NC Biggs asked me this question, and you pointed out having a future vision and planning. He mentioned networking, seeking out people that's doing the work you want to do. Does that sound familiar to you, NC Biggs?
Yes, it does. I did that though. I did find multiple accountants to actually understand the work of an accountant. Now right, I didn't ask that.
Is expand that. Yeah, you have to expand that. So Andre, you were saying almost exactly what I told NC Biggs. So it's good that we're being consistent. And whether you can network with business consultants, but I will say seeking out a mentor has got to be a two-way street. In exchange to learn, you need to put in the work, because the most irritating thing that I see is people want to be a mentor, but it's a one-way street, and I'm one person with limited time. So you have to do a value add to the person you're seeking to learn from. That's the secret sauce.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I would say this, that I don't know how to say it nicely, but 99% of the accountants out there, let's say they lack imagination.
No, you're right.
They're hardworking people. You got to give them the respect that they're due. But in terms it's a whole different thing when you're aggressively purchasing business. It's a whole different thing than a guy who's doing accounting for 200 or 300 clients, and he's swamped every year for 3 months or 4 months, and it's a whole different thing than learning accounting for the purpose of purchasing business. Is a whole completely different thing. So, for example, when I do an interview of an accountant, the questions that I ask them, and usually by the third question, 3 questions, I know if I can do business with them or not. And these questions have nothing at all to do with their line of work. Well, I mean, some of it does, but for the most part, has nothing at all to do with their line of work. And it has to do with people. Remember, you're dealing with a human being at the end of the day. So is this person meek or are they aggressive? Because if you want to be successful, you can't just, kind of slide and halfway do it. You got to be on your A game. You got to put in 20 hours a day, and you got to be willing to do what it takes. Now, you put in that work to be able to coast later, but so now the field of accountants now has dropped from 1,000 to maybe 100, just there. And then you have to refine from there. So I just don't want you to get stuck, kind of that whole stuck in a rut. Go to, pay and go to an accounting school, and then find an accountant that's is just pushing papers, and then it's 5 years later. You follow what I'm saying? I want to hear 2 years from now that you're already doing your first deal. You follow what I'm saying?
Right. And I've talked to Cosmic. She's been very, very, very blunt about the same exact thing. That's why I just wanted to see if it was, if your opinion was different than hers, or do y'all share the same thing, and y'all seem to share the same thing. So same style and everything.
And when you ask me my opinion, I want you to succeed. And as Andre reiterated, it takes a strategic action with your end vision in mind and reverse engineer back. I wish I could give you a secret hack, but over the years, that's the only thing that's consistently worked for me. So Andre, with the group, you may want to talk about how you have a future vision of yourself, and how you strategically plan what you're doing today with a 5 to 10 year vision. Right?
You're talking about me or NC?
Oh, I'm talking about you, Andre, because I kind of could see, and it's so uncanny because you're saying exactly what I coached them, but maybe I wanted to open it up so other people on the screen can understand how what we do today isn't for today. What we're doing today is to meet a 5-10 year vision of where we want to be in the future.
Right. Yeah. So let's do broad strokes then. Let's go from, like I said, start at the end and work back. So my goal is to generate within the next 15 to 20 years, 1/1,000,000th of the world's global GDP. So, based on 2020 numbers. So let's say that would be for today's numbers, $142 million net at the end of the year. So how do we work back from there? What do you got to do? Well, you got to serve a lot of people to hit that number. Millions, right? So now you have to have a strategic look. Okay, so where are these millions, potentially billions of customers? Well, the ones that are coming up now are going to be around the Indian Ocean. So you're talking about India, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Indonesia, the western part of Saudi Arabia, and so on. So you see where I'm going. Okay, now I've established my geographical area. Okay, now where am I going to target in those areas? What industries? Okay, let's talk about, for example, a restaurant, like a restaurant idea. Well, guess what? Now these people are going to be eating a lot more meat than they're used to, right? So maybe I'm going to want to open up American style burger place in India, for example, or Bangladesh, or something along that lines. They're going to want more energy. So maybe I form a utility in a small area. So there's a whole bunch of things that can be done business wise, and you just work that back into where you are now, without getting into too much detail.
In other words, you're restricting yourself up to states. You just strictly think global. Period.
I'm sorry. Say it again. You're breaking up.
I said, in so other words, you're not restricting yourself to the United States. You strictly think global when it comes to finance.
Yeah. You got to remember, you're a citizen first of the universe. It just happens to be on this planet.
Yeah.
That just happens to be born, for most people, born within a certain border.
Right.
And that border happens to be in a certain, you happen to be in a certain state within that border.
Like that since I was a kid, too, man. What you're saying right now, I've always played when I was a kid. That's crazy.
The thing is that really we're talking about limited thinking. Okay, well, I'm going to go and down the block, I'm going to open up, I don't know, a lawnmower repair center. Well, why down the block? Right? You got to think of it also from the point of view of competition.
Mm-hmm.
How many other lawnmower places are there down the block? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you're actually going to intentionally do something that's extremely risky in an area that there's an obscene amount of competition. That's not logical. You're not being logical at that point.
Wow, the way you say it, man, that makes total.
But here's the thing, that and this is where the programming comes in. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, where am I going to go? You know how many people live and die in their city that they were born?
No, man.
Don't leave their city or town or metropolitan area. Live and die and never leave your metropolitan area. That to me is just. Are you a tree? Like you have your feet go into the ground and you got roots?
Right.
That doesn't make sense to me. You have we're we stand upright. You know what I'm saying? We're designed to travel.
I just left last year. And I'm 49. Dang. Mm-hmm. Crazy, man.
Yeah,
I like the way you said that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so the people really.
Do you think internationally, because that allows you to have the agility to deal with changing business conditions versus thinking locally, which kind of forces you into the same old rut?
Yeah, well, it's more than that. You have to look at it from the point of view of the opportunities. You have to look at it from the point of view of what's demographics as well, what's coming up, what's going down. Old folks ain't really looking to buy ATVs. You know what I'm saying? they're not really planning on going out to the club. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So you have to think of it. You have to think more clearly from a point of view of all the factors. Mm-hmm. Is the economy improving or is it declining? Is the demographics improving or declining? So it's a process, but it's no different than looking at a deal, because basically a country is a business.
So
at the end of the day,
let me ask you, I'm curious. With this
uh-huh.
with this thing, this the next level stuff real quick. With the bigger thing coming next year, is it still will you still be okay just being in debt? What you think?
I'm sorry, you broke up again. Can you repeat that?
With the big thing coming next year, will it still be cool to be debt free, or something's got?
You should never have ever a negative balance sheet. If you have a negative balance sheet, you are bankrupt. It doesn't matter if it's a business or a person or a family.
Yeah.
Period. Exclamation point.
Right.
Your balance sheet, your assets, because basically savings minus debt is basically the first financial statement you look at in a business. It's the balance sheet.
Right.
So all of your assets minus all of your liabilities equals if you're in business or not, right?
Mm-hmm. That's just
It's
true.
really simple. It's just that simple. It's the savings minus debt. If that number is negative, you are bankrupt. Now, then you have to ask yourself this question. Why is it promoted for the entire population to have a negative balance sheet?
Business.
It's business. It's not personal. It's just business.
Well, this thing, 221, something big. I mean, you said the what's coming. I mean, it's coming in 21, right?
Yeah.
And it's bigger than this. How? And maybe you know the question I'm trying to ask, because I barely be able to phrase it right. What do you foresee bigger coming than this? What's happening now? What do you see besides the housing market?
Okay, the housing market. Well, you have.
Besides,
I'm sorry. Say again.
Besides the housing market crash, what do you think? Something in the housing market crash.
Well, what you're going to see is stock market down significant. You're going to see. I mean, these houses have to change hands. There's no other way about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy in the middle's got to make his profit. So there's going to be hedge funds buying whole city blocks at once. Now, it's not going to be like, okay, it's not going to be like there's a bunch of for sale signs going up type of thing. It's just, all those promissory notes exchange hands. A lot of banks are going to go out of business as well. There's no way they have enough capital to survive.
So, Andre, we call those bulk buyers, LJ. So one watch out with this housing crisis is that people are thinking, I will buy a house on the cheap. What people don't realize is the bulk of those deals you're not going to get, because these bulk buyers are going to buy the paper. So I know some bulk buyers, they started talking to the banks time the pandemic hit. Those relationships at that level are already set. So I think people don't realize when people say housing crash, most people won't be able to take advantage of it because most people aren't able to buy a package of paper, mortgage notes.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you a tape could be 7 figures. Easy. 8 figures? Can you come up with 20 million?
Nope.
Because if you think about it, that's really that's really not a long tape. Like a $5 or $10 million tape is not that many houses, really.
Not at all. So when people say housing crash, that's not a crash that most people will benefit from, LJ. The main winners will be those bulk buyers that's already talking to the banks. They're already looking at the books. They're already packaging up those houses right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and those deals are already done because they bought the MBS in the background, right? So 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they were already buying out
Exactly.
those from the banks. So
So that's why I warn people. Yeah, I warn people, don't get too excited for the housing crash unless you're in those rooms, because those deals are already done.
yeah, I agree 100%. That doesn't mean that there won't be deal, because there's ugly deals too. There's
There'll be some scrap for the regular people, right?
I mean, that would be the scraps. It'll be the scraps of what they don't want, but it won't be like
That's what
hand over fist deals like people talk about.
They're scraps.
Yeah, and depending where you are, that one man's trash is another man's treasure. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's I would agree with that. That this is not an opportunity that the average person could take advantage of. I'm sure there are zip codes, there are sellers or owners that don't fit into that category. Like I was saying, for example, the baby boomer generation. There's a fair amount of them that they don't have mortgages, right? If they happen to pass away, then the one thing I would say is get in touch with, make really good friends with a probate lawyer. Really good friends. Take them out to dinner, like
exactly. You know what I did, Andre? When the COVID, you know what I did when the COVID hit? Subscribe to the probate court listings in my market. That's what I did when COVID first hit.
Yeah, because those are never going to be package deals. That's never going to show up on a roll.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All that is way in my head. Probate lawyers. I don't even know what a probate lawyer is for. What is it for?
When a person dies, okay, and they may have a house, there is a legal process that before the heirs even get access to it, it goes to probate courts, and the probate is twofold. It's to announce to all the creditors that somebody died, so it gives the creditors an opportunity to make a claim on outstanding debts. And at the end of all of this probate process, if there's anything left, it frees up those assets for an opportunity for the common person to buy those. Now, Andre, I really dumbed that down, but that's the short version.
With a will, if they have a will, that means nothing with that.
Well, here's the thing: you could have a will, but that doesn't protect you. This is where I was saying that. At what point is this intentional? You know what I'm saying? Because you mean to tell me that someone has, let's say, $3, $4, $5 million worth of assets, and they don't have at least a revocable trust, at least at the minimum? Like how do you not go to the bank and then not like, well, I mean, it's not in their interest, but but at least somebody somewhere, I don't know, your CFP or your family lawyer, like somebody's got to tell you, hey, look, fix this,
I bet you that happens.
But you'd be surprised just how many wealthy people don't even have a will, LJ. Not even a will.
Right.
Wealthy people.
So a will won't protect you. A trust has some protections, but that's why they have the probate court listings, the executor contact information, because they want to make sure that your debtors, if there's any debt, they want that information to get that money back. So there's a whole process before, if you're using a will or if you die with the assets, it's a long legal process. But that's why I say look at your probate court, because it's not for me. They make all this information public for the debtors to get their money, not necessarily for me to buy an asset at a discounted price.
Right. It's for the creditors, yeah. So yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a way that if someone maybe is thinking about getting a property for pennies on the dollar, that's definitely a way to go at it. Because like she was saying, you're just not going to be able to effectively compete with a hedge
So
fund or a family
with
office.
Iris here, with this fire here, and older people are dying. I'm sure there's a lot of people know what. Got to be a lot.
Yes.
So though
Yes.
that's a lot of money.
So that's my hack. That's my hack, LJ. Is the every county state has probate court. Start looking.
Okay, all new news. I was just getting
All right,
like, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know if there's I'm not in front of the in front of my laptop, so I don't know if there's questions in the chat or not.
No, I don't see any here. I don't see any. Well, been on here for about an hour 40 minutes, man. If you guys got any more questions, man, I just this is a good chat, good stream. I'm still learning a lot. It's been wonderful. Thank you, Andre, for jumping in here and giving us your time. You jumping in here too, Cosmic. Appreciate it. If there's any more questions, here's the link. I don't want to hold you guys up anymore. It is Friday night, and got other obligations out there. Thank you for some future. I want more. You know, we're going to have some more. Andre has some future talk. I want to stat 21, 22. Let's see the things I'm not able to see right now that are in front of us, because that's what it feels like happening. Like been there the whole time. They're just coming into focus.
Yeah, it's like a hostile takeover kind of.
It is, man. But like you said, gain wealth.
Yeah, it's like I said, to them it's just business.
You got to keep it there. You got to keep them damn feelings out of it. That's the problem, man. Those feelings, that's everything up.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, we're going to end this since there are more questions. Thank you, everybody, for showing up again. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Cosmic.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good evening. Thank you for joining. Have a good night.